What is up, guys? Today's video is a bit different. This is kind of a rant. Well, this is a rant video, basically. I put some thought into it and some research, so I'm not just spouting out of my arse, though. People have been asking me what I think about dynamic queue for ages, so I thought I'd just make a video about it. And honestly, I actually really like dynamic queue. It's a really good idea. It's really cool to play with your friends, but there are some big problems with it. I actually really want to know what you guys think about this whole queue thing, too. Obviously, it's different for me. I've been playing for 5 years, so I have a different opinion, but make sure you leave some comments. I'm going to be pretty active in the comments this time around, and remember to like it if you want more videos like this. Anyway, so the first thing, the whole system is really kind of flawed, actually. The whole new champion select, I guess. I love the new champion select, by the way. Don't get me wrong. Like, you now narrow it down to 2 roles instead of 5, so that's definitely going to be a good thing. The problem is kind of like your main and secondary roles seem very dependent on the roles themselves. It's kind of like the least popular roles, so the ones that people aren't queuing as much, you're going to get a higher chance of getting put into them, even if it's your secondary role. I don't really think that it should work like that. I think like if you queue as something as your main role, then you should get that like 75% of your time, and your secondary are only 25%. It shouldn't matter what roles you're picking. For me, this is a pain in the ass because I play AD as my main and jungle and support as my secondary. I kind of alternate between the two. The problem is there aren't many support players and there aren't as many junglers, so basically when I queue as jungle secondary, I get jungle about 60% of the time. When I queue as support secondary, I get support about 80% of the time. I actually think I'm a good support and I like playing support, but I don't want to play 80% of the time. Like, I'm a better AD carry. I want to carry myself. I want to play the role that I find fun and I queued up as, so please just let me play AD carry. The reason this whole system is flawed though is because of the kind of supports, honestly. Like, there are a lack of support mains anyway, which is why I'm getting support if I queue it up as the secondary. But that's the problem though. It means that everyone who queued up as secondary support gets support like 90% of the time. Those people are going to change their secondary because they're sick of getting support secondary all the time. It's just basically a vicious cycle. Like, those first people that dropped it as their secondary role means there are now less supports in the queue, so the people that are left as secondary supports get support even more, and then those people stop queuing as support. It's just going to go on and on basically until support mains are the only ones left. They're the only guys who actually want support because everyone else is sick of getting it all the time, even though it's not their main role. This is kind of where fill players come in too. Like, it's really crap for fill players. It's basically saying, okay, I'm going to queue for fill and give me support or top lane. The best way of actually fixing fill players is to say, like, the first role is your fill, and the second role, where you normally put your secondary, is going to be something like, give me anything but this role. So you'll be like fill except support or fill except top. Something like that would be pretty fair for fill players, I think. Anyway, so that's why I think the system is going to crash and burn at some point because, well, let's be honest, like, you can't just have this never-ending pool of supports that is slowly getting smaller and smaller and still expect the same queue times and stuff. Anyway, this is the bigger one, I guess. It's the pre-made side of things. Now, I like this. It's kind of nice to play with friends sometimes, and you don't need an actual 5-man to do it, whereas you did before in ranked 5s. What I don't like is being stuck with a 3 or 4 pre-made when I'm solo queue. It's happened more than it should have, really. It sucks. It really comes down to who has the better pre-made, so what is like the point of me even playing, really? I'm gonna give you some examples because that's kind of the easiest way I think I can probably explain it. So I was the AD carry with a 4-man pre-made the other day. The enemy team had a 4-man pre-made as well, so they did have a solo player, but basically, like, I won my lane. I was about 40 CS up. The support was pretty good. We got a kill as well, but my top laner and jungler completely fed like crazy. Now, it wasn't just because they're bad players. The other 4-man pre-made just made some really good plays. The enemy jungler was pretty good. There are 2 things I really noticed. So the first one is I literally don't really have any kind of impact in the game. Like, it really comes down to which 4-man pre-made is better because they actually have way more influence in the game. It's like I'm not really going to do anything. Either I just have this monster game where I stomp everyone and I have an impact and I carry, or really if I just play normally, which is probably more expected of me, then I'm going to either get carried by my 4-man pre-made or lose to their 4-man pre-made. I don't really see the point of playing when it's down to that, honestly. Like, what am I going to do? I've just basically queued up for 30 minutes for a gamble, a coin toss, whether I win or lose. Anyway, the other thing was it's very similar to like a team game, like a competitive game. I played on a couple of teams in my time, both AD carry and wow, that made me sound really old actually. But anyway, I played like AD carry and jungle for different teams. The games are a lot slower. They're more methodical. Basically, like, you don't have as many plays being made, but when the plays are made, they're way more calculated and effective. That's pretty much how this game was. We just kind of farmed, and then eventually eventually like you'd have a 3-4 man gank in a lane, or a jungler would come in and always a TP or another roam and stuff. It's just basically a competitive game. The thing is, ranks are no longer a pure reflection of how good I am at this game. Sure, it's if you play solo, but you don't know if that person played solo or 4 or 5 man pre-made up to that rank. It's like if you look at a profile and he's Diamond 1 and you think, wow, that guy's a god, and actually he could have just 5 man pre-made his way up to Diamond 1 and been carried most of the way. You have no idea how good that guy actually is. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I don't normally do stuff like this, but I thought I'd give it a shot because people have been asking me for so long to do stuff like this. Make sure you like it if you did, subscribe, comment down below with your thoughts, share the video, and I'll catch you in my next video. No, 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 fuck off. I didn't expect all 5 people to run at me. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, fuck.